Osiris New Dawn. A game I've been quite obsessed with recently, and I thought to myself, would the game be possible with only a rock? The reason why I actually thought this was because there is such thing as a bashing rock, and I thought, that could work. You see, in the land of Osiris New Dawn, you start with a dull survival knife and a survival tool. The survival tool allows you to scavenge and salvage wreckage until you get the upgrade, and the dull survival knife allows you to do minimal damage to aggressive fauna, and also strip flora of its usefulness. Now, in this game where you shoot things and you make space stations and things, I'm just going to get to the most basic point where I know that you will continue the game from how much you leave off it. Now, if you like the style of this video, I would love to hear the feedback in the comments. I do read them, even though they're a little bit weird. And even though this game it can be a little bit glitchy, it's pretty fun. So, I hope you hear me through and enjoy.
Vitals dropping.
So after crashing on the planet, I grab my patch tape, I patch up, and then I grab my bandage to heal myself from that. Now, the part here is the only time I will use a tool. The survival knife, bat down the door, and then I exit the pod. The first thing I do is drop all my tools, as I will not be needing them, and then watching them fade out of existence, as they do in real life. You know, you drop something and it fades out of existence. That's what happens. You just never see it. So I go around the crash site to try and salvage anything I really can. I can't really pick up any space debris because I don't have a tool for it. I grab some bandages, water, barrels, propane tank, patch tape, and a med kit. That will come in useful later, but regardless, right now I have broken flare and some food and water to sustain me for now. It won't forever, but it will do for now. Oh yeah, the crash. So, all you really need to know about the crash is satellite go kapeel, and there's us that just go to the planet. And now we're here. Not too far from the crash site, I find some crab sheddings and sceliopod sheddings, and I'm collecting all of these up so that I can build myself a crab hut or a sceliopod hut, because at the start of the game you usually make a scrap hut, but as I can't get scrap, I need this stuff to make it. Then the antennas are also very useful to make makeshift tools. And then it happened. I saw a sceliopod in the distance, but there was so much good stuff over in that direction. So I started grabbing it, made sure to sneak by very, very quickly and very, very quietly. I grabbed some talons, some shells, and lots of good stuff. I I thought of going back, but there was still some stuff there. So I grabbed it and I was safe then. And then I find some rocks. This is great as I can finally make a bashing rock. I loot the chest, which is full of cloth pieces and some bandages. I assign some stat points because that's always helpful. And I then get to collecting all the rocks. I collect a mini rock, and I also get combat points for this because rocks can be used as weapons. So yeah, it's a little bit weird, but at least I can make a bashing rock now. I also saw this shaped crab antenna, and I didn't know what it was for. So I just ignored it. I was going to make a bashing rock. I looked at the shard blade for a second, but I realised I couldn't make it. So I started making bashing rock, and I decided to make it. I didn't know what it was really for though. So eventually I look at it, and then realise that it's mostly just useless. And so I look for stuff that it can make, and it can make a crab screwdriver. And I'm like, I don't need that, so I just drop it, and I don't need it anymore. I grab my bashing rock, I put it into my hotbar, and I now have a weapon to bash things with. I then start pulverizing some plants, like this cactoid, and this azalea. So, this will give me some alien fiber, which means I can then make some makeshift cloth bundles. These will be helpful for making some huts. So I'm looking to see if I have all the materials for the hut. And then I realize it's a dust storm. And there's not much you can really do in a dust storm. You just gotta sit there and cover and make things. And as from my voice, this really sucks. This really sucks, man. You can tell that I'm not very pleased. I bash this fernberry. The fernberries are good for making some berry juice, which we can't make right now, and bandages, as well as some very special items. Then, as quickly as it started, it clears away eventually, and I continue my voyage across the landscape looking for resources and other useful gadgets to help me on my quest. In the distance, I spot a dune buggy. Dune buggies are awesome, especially when they're not broken. Now, this dune buggy, unfortunately, is broken, and usually you would be able to salvage it with a survival tool. And I don't have one of those, so I try and salvage it, but I can't, because you need a tool with tinkering. We don't have that. I look for crafting to see if I could craft anything with tinkering, and what do you know? It's the crab screwdriver with the shaped crab antenna that I threw away. I love irony. And then there was the Sceliopod battle. I then start hitting it with the rock. It actually does more damage than I thought it would, and I get a little bit hit, but I have many a times of fighting Scheliopods, and I know how to fight things. So I bash until it dies. There's the other one here. I keep slapping it until that one also dies. And it was a very, very quick fight. Its body went through the floor, unfortunately. And so I can't get the meat from it. The meat will be helpful as I am slowly starving, and the only thing I can use is red berries. As you can see, I'm getting some alien tissue and might be able to cook it later. So eventually, I continue. I get some more alien fiber, and I pass the dune buggy I can't get. And then I realise I should probably make the crab screwdriver now. So I make the crab antenna again, I make some makeshift cloth, and then I can make it. I make the thing, I equip it, and then it's
it's an achievement. It's extremely slow. I hate it. It's slower than the survival kit. The survival tool. It sucks. But might as well. There's no point just leaving this here. Might as well just repair it. And so I start salvaging the thing with all of its wheels, its core chamber, its fuel cells, its hoses, and its all the loot that you can get from it. I might be able to repair it if I am able to. I then decide to go back to the escape pod, as that means, because I have a tinkering tool now, I can actually salvage all of the pieces on it. So I arrive there, and I admire the floating rocks, and then I start salvaging all the space debris. It's still extremely slow, and it's annoying, but I end up keep doing it, and I get all the space debris. I get a bunch of special. There's special bonuses that you can sometimes get if you have if you're lucky enough. And I'm just going around salvaging all this, and it was mostly pretty boring, but what can you do? After finishing the mission, salvage the crash, I then keep salvaging, and then I see a special mission, which is find rocks. And I do the most easiest way to find a rock by dropping the rock and then picking it up again. It's amazing. Now this is the part where I find a ruined base. Ruined bases are very interesting. And I look in this crate and found some cloth, some tape. This is all really good stuff. I misclicked and I made the blueprints come up. You want to salvage all the pieces for all the metals and the scrap you can get from them. All really, really good stuff. I look in here and I see something in there that I was contemplating. A gun. Would this be allowed in the challenge? Because I didn't think about this. I saw the dull survival knife and the pistol and things. Would they be allowed in the challenge? And so my ultimate decision, right there, was to not allow them into the challenge. So I put them back and decided that I wouldn't actually take anything else because it would probably be cheating, so I just kind of walked away from it painfully. And then it's nighttime. I keep going around, and then I see this really weird bug, and I look at it, and it's like, oh, it's a bug. I slap it with my rock, and then it dies. And apparently it's a schizozoid, however you say that. And I get some alien insect parts that you can't really do anything with. There's special meat that is like a last resort. It's like rotten flesh in Minecraft. For crabs, it's crab meat. For alien insects, it's alien insect parts, and it's just a special meat that you can't cook, which is annoying. And so I continue along until I reach this bush, and I beat the cactoids full of fiber, and I keep beating these stuff for their fiber and everything, and it's great. It's fiber. It's good for you. I then managed to make all the parts for a crab hut, and so I place my crab hut down in a nice little place. I build it up, and I can now sleep in it or set my respawn point. And then I make some more cloth. I then go and see how much I need for a workbench, and I make some more cloth, and now I can make a workbench. This is like the crafting station of the game. And you can upgrade it into a better looking version as well as more functional version than a bench with scrap out on it. And then I go to sleep for the night.
Okay. Daytime.
I then get up, I exit my nice dandy little hut, and I immediately go to the workbench. And then I realise, oh, I have stat points to use. And so I decide very, very carefully what I should use it for, and I go, health, maybe. And I decide, yeah, I will go speed and some health. And then I look to see what I need to make a makeshift chisel. I need some leather straps, which means I need some leather. And for some leather, I need some alien hide. And for alien hide, I need a shard blade. So I'm going to work up to a shard blade now. Which means I stand on my crab hut. For some reason, I don't know. I then I have a little looky in here to see what I can make for a slashing tool. And I'm like, oh, a crude metal blade, that sounds great. And I look, and eventually I convince myself to make a shard blade instead of the crude metal blade, which is probably a good idea because the crude metal blade would probably take a lot more work. I then realised I don't have enough cloth. I murder this poor innocent bug. I then grab some more alien fibre. I go back. I then make some more cloth, makeshift cloth. And then I can finally make a shard blade. Which means I now have a better weapon than my rock. This is great, right? Because it means where the rock is, it can now be replaced with the shard blade. And look how cool that thing looks. You can slash things really amazingly. So I first go off. I murder this thing because I thought it might be able to give me hide by slashing it, but no, that's the exact same as alien insect parts. And then I see this poisonous skeleopod. Poisonous skeleopods suck, so I decide to try and kill it. Poisonous skeleopods do that. They decide that they break your suit, and so I have to deal with that whilst murdering it. So I have some hedge tapes and bandages so I don't die horribly. I eat some food, and then I go back in to finish it off. These things are also extremely strong and fast. And so I eventually get to killing it. What a battle that was. What a battle that was. And so I then get to inspect it. I then get to skin it. And the skinning of it means that I can finally get some alien hide. But then I realised, meteors. And I saw the meteors, but then I realised, oh, I can't get them. Because I need a chisel. That's what I'm working towards. So those are, like, really irrelevant. And I can't get them. But regardless, I decided to do it very quickly before the storm that just came in destroys my life. I then run back to my hut and I sit inside of it nice and calm. And this is where I decide to end my adventure, because it's a dust storm. What better place to end it than right now? So, thank you for watching. I hope you find this new content a lot better than what it used to be. And if you would like and subscribe, that would be like really great. I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, sure, yeah, dandy, dandy.